Microphone check and screen share check, please. Thanks. Appreciate your patience. The Creativity 202 group got a little rambunctious, and so we had to call the police to quiet the neighborhood, and that took a little bit of time. So we have restored dignity to what would otherwise just be a common brawl. All right, so let's take a look at the market health check for, let's see, was this August 29th, 2022. Let's see what we got here. Another bit of a selling day today. Come on, dummy. Must plug in pen. So we're still sitting in this critical state. You know, here halfway between the top and the bottom of the 30 period. We're well underneath the PSAR yet. So we're still poised for sharp moves. So we should be maximizing the intraday trade. Today was a bit of a gap down, a run up and a sell off, but it did close higher than it opened, so that's the slight potential turning point. We have a small range day, still holding above crucial level of 400, but this is so vulnerable to large moves either direction that this is maximum opportunity for intraday trading. I mean, the good news is that it is over near this support cluster that supported this upward move. So there's still some positive feelings because we've had, two legs up, and this was the base of support that held. So if it holds here and starts to make that move, there's going to be a lot of folks that remember this, 25-day upward move and are going to see this as a COTA 2, a low and a higher low. And I would be one of those. I mean, that's what COTA 2 is meant to do. This move tells you how big that move can be. And then if there's real follow through and you get a second move, that's good. And then that tells you the real test is up here after 430. So if this crawls, we have a tactical trade between 400 and 430, and that's about a 7.5% move to the upside. So that's certainly not outrageous. We've just seen one of those. So the upside's there. The downside is clear that anytime it keeps breaking below there, you have intraday short side trades that are available. It becomes very interesting if it breaks below 400, and then I would just play this, I think, in about $10 increments, 390, 380. But that one is crucial there. If 380 breaks, look out well below. But my spider sense is that there's enough willingness to throw money at short-term problems like that to keep the Democrats in power that they're willing to do anything. So I'm actually optimistic about the fact that this did not sell further today. That after that kind of a move on Friday, that's all that happened today. That feels like a potential recovery. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. But again, the smart play is critical state, break in either direction, and we're going to see what happens when you concentrate on intraday short term like that. Here, this was the move today. Now we're looking at 30-minute charts. So this was the big move down Friday that got everybody. And today was nothing more than a little sell-off and recovery, and not bad. That was failure to fail. And in fact, on the 30-minute, you got the PSAR flip, and it held going into the close. So if you can stand $3 risk, this move to 413 is a 3-to-1 move out of that base, and that's the least surprising move would be to come up and test this level. It gets interesting here about whether it can power through, say, 415. And then if 415 holds, it then has to get above 420. If this breaks above 420, well, then it's off we go, because this gap is no resistance at all. So really, it's the race to 417, and if it gets north of that, up we go. So be ready for that kind of move. The downside move is easy to see, and you just trade that in the normal way. Here is the sector performance today. So the S&P was down 0.2%, down 0.66. Treasuries off 0.8. The Russell 0.9. The Qs 1 full percent. Tesla off 1.14. Emerging markets were basically neutral, minus 0.62. Diamonds were the least painful, minus 0.57. So really, you're talking about a 0.5% difference between the best index and the worst index. That is some range compression for you right there. That's not panic selling. Just saying. All right, so let's see what the underperformers are first by sector now. So again, the S&P minus 0.67. So you got materials, finance, and lithium minus 0.7. Lumber, real estate, wheat and precious metals 1%. The FANGs 1%. Simon Property Group, Biotech, Tech, Mexico to 1.3. Blended large cap crypto, Arc Genomics, or Arc Innovation, I should say. Clean energy, Bitcoin, VIX, and Arc Genomics between 1.6 and 2.4. That's also not really panic selling. I mean, nobody wants to lose 2%, but on a day when all of the market and the big indexes were down and then the worst sector is only 2%, that's actually not that bad. Apple, 1.37, Tesla, 1.1, Microsoft, 1%, Cliff, 1%. So tech and finance weakness and the innovations are off. But that feels manageable to me. I don't know. Maybe it's my eternal optimism showing through. Actually, what I'm really optimistic for is this. The upside. What a call that was on uranium last week. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's already a 25% gain. Ridiculous. All right, SPY off 0.6. So you have consumer discretionary 0.53. The other lumber, blockchain staples 0.16. Here's our break-even point to things that actually made money. You have agriculture 0.14. It's at 2079. Aussie dollar, global future of finance, Ethereum, Brazil, oil exploration, blended commodity, energy, oil, 3.75. We talked about the strength in the energy sector last week. There you are, all of it. Devon Energy, 1.88. Marijuana, 4.5. Uranium, 7.4. Oh. Those of you interested in that, you might also look at CCJ. That's Cameco. That's a really well-run, multi-sourced energy that also has a strong uranium component and provides energy solutions at scale. Not bad. I'm probably going to replace, where was it? GFOF with that. I mean, global future of finance is about 95% Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's like 68% and something like, I don't know, 27%. So this is mostly just a blend of what we're already tracking with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I think I want to start adding an extra uranium play in there. We'll see how that goes. Rivian did okay. U.S. Steel was all right. Alcoa was better than the market. So U.S. Steel, among the metals, had more juice. I'm going to shift to the reports now. Get our, let's see. Stand by. All right, let's quick look. Sorry about those graphics. That looks ugly. All right, so this is in. Trying to remember what this. Devon Energy. We got a big gap off. 1, 2, 3 entry would be about here. Waited for the PSAR flip, standard risk box, standard exit, a couple false starts, and then finally the last PSAR flip that paid off. So this one was about 1, 2, 3, minus a half, plus a half. So this was about +3 on Devon Energy right out the gate. That was the pattern on all of the big trades for us today. Was that harsh sell-off and then a rocket ship reversal to the upside. Pretty amazing moves that we'll see here in a little bit. And we've been through all those. Let's see. All right, so we're still in bearish normal, still oversold sharply on the short terms. Risk Z is warning us about the potential of the downside, so let's be mindful of those. The min pains is energy, Coca-Cola. Max pain remains some of the key elements in tech. The NDX is showing you how many things broke down today. So I should be a lot more pessimistic than I started off. Maybe I should be paying more attention to this. Some serious shortcomings here in Intel, Johnson & Johnson, but no surprise there. We knew that. Pfizer weakness, Walgreens weakness continuing to be brutal. Where was the strength? Energy. So Chevron, United Health, and Walmart. Walmart up 1% today. Word to the wise. That's the turning point. In the ETFs, tons of auto framers, tons of dojis, and lots of 551Ws. That means things that have sold off sharply, but they had a higher close than the open. So the intraday move was up. They were willing to hold it in spite of Friday's big sell-off. That's what the beginning of failure to fail further looks like. That's actually an optimistic sign to me. The ETFs did have some weaknesses, we notice, but we would notice oil breaking to a new 10-day high. So the energy sector, oil exploration, and Devon Energy's performance is not surprising at all. And then in the emerging markets, Brazil actually had a pretty good day, since it's not the U.S. and not at war with anybody. That's pretty good. Everything's on sale in the auto framer because today was a low range day and the 10-day high is so far away. This is totally a buyer's market. And when I see an opportunity like Microsoft presenting itself at 7-1, you've got to pay attention to that. And the tech sector at 6-1, and looking for the cues in here. Did I miss them? The fact that XOK's in there is enough. You get Cisco, the Russell, Intel. Plenty of opportunities to choose from in tech. That would be the least surprising move to the upside. In the squeezes, again, the name that just keeps popping out at me is Microsoft, and Tesla pretty good, and McDonald's at 2.5-1. That's the no-brainerest trade of all. Looking at the snipers, Godzilla's galore in the S&P, and three of them have started to enrage, 3M, AAP, and PNR. But the rest of these Godzillas are sleepy. Haven't even started to make their move yet. Bitcoin and wheat and precious metals still ready to explode. And so this is what that looks like. Harsh Godzilla, tight 5-day range and 1-day range. And so either a sharp reversal or a sharp collapse. That's what Godzilla says is when he makes his move, it's massive. And these are the ones that are setting up. Be ready. The other sniper patterns, there's much fewer fireworks and popcorns because so many things have sold off already. So all those ones that used to be on here that couldn't hold and they all collapsed, that's the pattern. Is it gets to the top, is it going to go up or collapse sharply? Well, it collapsed sharply. That's what last Friday's move was. The fence sitters, mostly quiet. These are the ones that are stuck in that middle of the trading range, and the breakout in either direction is sharp, and there's no volatility on it. That's pretty remarkable. FANG is interesting as a quiet one that has started its move, as has EVRG, Evergreen Energy Company. Among the most volatile in the S&P 500s, Bristol-Myers Squibb, 5 sigma move today. CTLT, 5 sigma move today. You got to frame that one and be ready for more volatility tomorrow. Those two symbols, BMY. If you're an opportunity trader, BMY, CTLT. Note to self, we'll take a look at those tomorrow for follow through. That's on my short list. I love volatility. Can't get enough of it. The best thing about volatility is it's already happening. You don't have to wonder. It's there. There's our stats for the sniper auto framer. I'm not going to repeat those. The sniper index statistics here for the tactical symbol set, sorted by Z5. And marijuana, my brother nailed 12R on that today. The most volatile symbol by far in our tactical symbol set, and there was big follow through on that today. More pain and suffering in both the ETFs and the Dow, but the ones that have been leading just quietly continue to lead. All your energies and Brazil. That's what the market's telling you. You can't hide. So I take that as a failure to fail further after that big warning shot Friday. I see that as holding, wanting to hold at 400. That could be a heck of a move. But again, if the collapse happens, then it gets back down to 390 and 380 in a hurry. Ideal time to be a short-term trader. Can't ask for more. It's sitting right at support at the bottom of the river, just like you want it to. Has to get above here to be interesting. So that's your tactical trade right inside there with two stages, 1 and 2. The 10-day regression line, his slope is now down at sigma, minus 3 sigma. What has it done the last time it's been there? Up, up, up. Is it going to go up? I don't know. Could be a big fail. But the RL30 slope stat has come back to the edge of normal already, so it's blown off the excess. The longer term trend is still strong, although that is just starting to roll over. But this is where you would expect a tactical recovery to be. And if it does work and gets above this level, it gets and back up into there, then this will be seen. Obviously, that was a buy on dip opportunity. How could you not see that? Well, because in the moment, this is a compound critical state that's ready to fail large or recover large. And if you think you know which way it's going, enjoy the feeling. I'm going to follow price. Only energy and Latin America and the steel company are not in the pain and suffering of the last 5 days. Everything else is getting murdered. So that's how your leadership emerges from the smoke. All right, that's enough of that. I had soccer practice today, so I didn't have time to mark up all my charts beautifully. But the the plays of the day for me was uranium. There was your close. There was your rocket ship up, so you put a risk box on it. You get that, and the rest of the day you're not going to lose money. 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives you some room to play with. Marijuana, brother stuck with it. There's your double bottom. There's your Kata 2, an emerging dragon. There's his 12-hour trade. U.S. Steel offered a standard morning hook. It just doesn't get any more hooky than that. Sell off sharply. WMB3. There's the oversold. There's the uptick. Here's the candle breakout. There's your entry. There's your risk box. There's your 4R. There's a Kata 2 for 2 more R. Standard work. That was the Devon energy trade. This didn't print very well on this thing. But here's where the 1, 2, 3 entry was. I would just waited for the PSAR flip in the usual way. 1, 2, 3. False start, false start. This one pays for those two, and you take 3 home. And then our last one, oops, sorry. Oh, I think that was, Devin, that was the last one. Okay, let's take a quick look at the traders today. The boys crushed it. Here's Constantine with gold US dollar spot. Gold spot US dollar, I should say. Kata 2, Z3 pinch, Z3 reversal, tight wrist box, 8R. And he notes that as an expected resistance area when he's analyzing previous support and resistance levels. You know, he sees that one as support and resistance. So when that move happens and starts to roll over, he takes his 8R out of that and says, I'm not sticking around. It's starting to fail right where you would expect it to fail. And 8R in hand. How much more did you want? The afternoon, the later trade on that one, there's his 8R exit up in here. I'd have been tempted by this Kata 2, that Kata 2, that PSAR flip, that Kata 2. He takes the PSAR reversal, tight wrist box for another plus 1.75, so 10 for the day. Who is, oh, I can't remember who this one was. Hold on. Oh, Constantine again. Okay, they're just using a different form. All right, so this one is, let's see if we can see what's going on here. This looks like an Asian index. Oh, I see what he's got here. Yeah. It framed a bunch of trades throughout here, but the last one he did was here, finding support where it's supposed to, and picked up 2.2 in that little, just in that little piece. But notice how nicely this thing is trading with Kata 2s and an emerging dragon and a Kata 2. Anytime you get that Kata 2 and you get a nice big emerging dragon, that invalidates all of that sell-off. And that is not resistance at all. That thing rocketed north as fast as it rocketed south. So when resistance breaks, don't be surprised by that stuff. And when this resistance didn't hinder it, it got another leg up fast. And when this one broke, you get that move. So you should be hearing in your mind the breaking of support and resistance like the snapping of wood or the cracking of ice on a frozen lake. Those are significant. Here's Eugene with a really nice looking setup on PLBY. I want you to notice how he's using a multi-time frame, multi-lens analysis. He's using Heikin over here because it really makes the harsh winter stand out. but now the spring is coming because it's not. This is actually healthy because it's not as steeply down as this or that, and that's why that red could not persist. And he's actually seeing some spring action starting to happen. That's on the weekly. When you drill down to the daily, and it's trading at less than cash value, this note, you see that bottoming out, the beginning of spring. Now, you got one impulse up, it almost took it to the top of the dragon, and then sold off, but has not made a new low. So this hasn't broken yet. There was one strong upward impulse. So a break above 469 now says that could be the trigger to go. As long as this doesn't break, you have like a little Kata 2 action happen. Not much volume on that sell-off, but there was a lot of buying pressure. Just like there was a lot of buying pressure here that took it from 480 to 640, a 35% gain in 2 days. Just saying. This is failure to fail further. So with that as your breakout and that as your risk, that's your first target, which is 1, 2. And if that breaks, look out above. Nice work. Good find. Here's the uranium trade. You got more out of it than I did. You got 6R, I think I got 4. But perfectly played. Using this, notice how he's using the MMRB from the Z3 pinch. And he says, look, if that thing breaks out, then that's the noise box. So that's all the risk you need to take. Because if this breaks and then fails, well, then it's going to come back. So you don't need to risk more than that. And then just enjoy the move. And then he sells on the far side of the hill and keeps 6. Gave back a little over 1. That's 85% efficiency. That's good shooting, Tex. Let's see. We have oil. Nice big gap up. Sells and holds when it breaks out to a new daily high. That's upward pressure. Second position, not much left. Still, 3R on the first one, scratch on the second one. And only gave back half an R on 2 positions. That's why that's such a good exit. And this still hasn't broken the PSAR yet. So if this starts resuming above the emerging dragon, that's still strong for tomorrow. Cliff. So this is this one wanted the the uptick here. That's really where the WMB3 could happen with a stop like here. Still, that's still pretty good. Good scratch. Good re-entry. There wasn't much left. You might have squeezed a little more out, but the rest of the day was pretty good. Scratch for the set. All it did was really just get back to the support level, so let's see if it has one more. I think a break above 1890 is a really good sign, though. I'd be looking at that as the breakout to the upside. Tim just really hitting his stride. That vacation was everything. And didn't even get this piece. But the Kata 2, perfectly played. Good short, got paid. Good stop and reverse, perfectly played. Re-entry, perfectly played. I mean, dude, that's a master class right there. What you're doing is how you do it. Exactly what it will give. Nothing more, nothing less. Starts trading here. He notices the kind of the Kata 2. I think that was an exit and then a re-entry and got paid. Yeah. Another good re-entry. And you're taking short shots, but that's all that was really there. And that's another 2R, even on something that did not follow through and may have felt really choppy, and you're bringing home 2 from there and 3.5 the other day on the other one. That's 5.5 for the day. We'll take it. Um, New Zealand dollar, not to be outdone. Quick, quick shots, give back, give back. Quick hit, well played. The Z3 excursion that couldn't hold crushes it. That's how you do it. I like the patience here for the PSAR flip and then got paid. There was a re-entry in here somewhere too, but you were not in the market. So very respectable and professional 2.2. You guys are making my job really, really easy. But Luke's going to make it hard for me. Okay, appreciate it. So this is on the 5-minute Aussie. I'm liking this as the short, although I appreciate the break and getting paid here. That's worth a shot. I think this was a stop and reverse rather than waiting for that. Then you probably would have scratched that anyway, but you'd save a little bit right there. Yeah, late, waiting for too much confirmation. Agreed. Yeah, definitely waiting too much. And then this one is probably here. That's still acceptable, but yeah, you got to crush this. Still got paid. Good short. This is where I think the second position ought to be somewhere around in here. Standard exit. Good shot. So 1.6, you probably left 4 on the table. The 3-minute, let's see, what is this one on? Yeah, this is also the Aussie. The timing on this was odd. But, yeah, this is just, what are we doing? The turning point, we might have gotten this early. That's still pretty good. That's too late. We should be out here. The re-entry, waiting for confirmation. Okay. Then that's where we got to be short, and then you don't lose money. You probably end up scratching that. This is all too late. The 5-minute felt better. Yeah, man, we're giving back a lot there. Stop. You're believing. You're reading your press clippings, man. Every day's a new day. You got to prove it. Every freaking day. Every day, the antelope has to wake up knowing he's got to be faster than the fastest lion. And every day, the lion wakes up knowing he's got to be faster than the slowest antelope. That's the margin. Arch, good stop and reverse. Those are both good shots. If you keep firing, you get paid on this one. This was late getting in. We should be long here. And then probably out on that rejection, probably out here, although that's still pretty good. That would be a good exit if this was our entry, but at least you got paid, so that's not a bad exit. And then this is where the PSAR flip is. And then this is where the PSAR flip is. But you did get a good scratch, a good long shot, and we're still getting paid and bringing home money on that one. But you got to, I've noticed this is a couple days in a row that you've not taken that trade. Concerned about the Z3 pinching. You got to take that one. There's the high, lower high, PSAR flip. And this is the very definition of a harsh winter, and that's your SSC getting paid, and then this is your Kata 2 getting paid. So we're leaving stuff on the table there. Shake it off. Woj bringing home. Oh man. Let's see. That's fine. On this rollover, we got to be on that, and then this one especially. Oh, you're in the meeting. Okay, never mind. You probably got had to reset, so you didn't get this one. But on this one, yikes. Boy, do we got to take that PSAR flip. And then a second position here. Oof. Yeah, we should be crushing this. That's a good trade, and that's probably just a bad fill. Great stop and reverse, but then we're stuck around too long. When we're trying to make up for those two losses in here, we got to be more ruthless on this side. Uh, 1.6, nicely done. But I also want to just say, when you have that kind of volatility, and then you see here's the VWAP, when that thing is voting to the downside and takes this out, boy, do we got to be crushing that move. Oh my goodness. That whole thing, that whole support structure, when that whole, I mean, this is the up move right here. This is the load bearing member in that frame. When that thing fails, whew, look out below. That's what happens when a load bearing member collapses. The size of this move up is the size of that move down. Oh, crap. I'm sorry. You're in a meeting. Stop going to meetings. So I know you have it in you because you crushed this thing in Devon. You get better than I did on that one. And you didn't get caught up in the chop. And here's a good one. That's a nice one on Tesla. That happened pretty quick, so it's good to get paid. And this is more good scratch. I think that's the stop and reverse. Now you're back on the swing of it. Nice. 2.6. Nice work, fellas. Back on our heads. Reset to the zero state. Be ready for tomorrow. You're crushing it.